All right, so get this. Today, we're diving into a world where you can just describe an app you want, and boom, it's built.
Like full stack, the whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards. Backend, database, the works. Just using your words. Crazy, right?
Sounds like something out of science fiction.
Yeah, well, it's becoming reality thanks to this company, Replit. You
Yeah.
know them, right? They're behind that popular online coding platform.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay, well, they have this brand new AI tool. It's called Replit Agent, and it's basically letting anyone build an app just by describing what they want.
Whoa, really? So how does it work? Like, do you have to know how to code?
That's the thing, you don't. Well, we'll get into that more, but basically, we have this awesome interview with Amjad Masad, the CEO of Replit, over on the Y Combinator YouTube channel.
Okay, I've seen their videos before.
Yeah, so in this one, he actually builds a full app live using Replit Agent. It's pretty mind-blowing.
So we're using this interview as our source material today.
Exactly. We're going to unpack it, break it down, and really explore what it means for, well, the future of software development.
I mean, if anyone can build an app now, that changes everything, right?
It really does. And it's not just for coders either. I mean, whether you're deep in the tech world or just curious about how AI is changing things, this is going to be a fascinating deep dive.
Okay, I'm hooked. Let's get into it.
All right, so in this interview, Amjad decides he wants to build a mood tracker app.
Seems pretty simple.
Yeah, well, that's the point. He wanted to show how easy it is to build something, even if you're not, like, a coding expert.
Hmm.
So he starts talking to the AI, literally just tells it, I want to build an app to log my mood each morning.
Oh, so it's voice controlled.
No, it's text-based. So he types in his request and tells it he also wants to log things like, how much coffee he had, any alcohol the day before, how much exercise he got, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so basic data points to track along with his mood. Makes sense.
Right. And the AI just gets it. It understands what he wants and starts building the app. But here's where it gets really interesting. The AI starts suggesting features to him.
Oh, really? Like what?
Like it asks, do you want to be able to visualize your mood trends over time? Or maybe we should add reminders to log your mood each day.
So it's not just following orders, it's actually contributing to the design process.
Exactly. It's like having a brainstorming buddy built right into the development environment.
Wow, that's cool.
Okay, now buckle up for this. So the AI automatically chooses the best tech stack to build the app.
What does that mean, tech stack?
Basically, the programming languages and tools it's going to use. So in this case, it picks Flask, vanilla JavaScript, and Postgres.
I know a little bit about coding, and those are all pretty standard, solid tools.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the point. It picks what's going to work best for this particular app.
I guess it saves a lot of time, too, because choosing the right tools can sometimes be a whole debate.
Totally. And then here's the best part. You can actually watch as the AI is building the app live. They have this visual progress pane that shows you the code being written, all the packages being installed, even the database connection being established. It's incredible.
So you can literally see it happening in real time.
Yep. It's like magic, except it's real. And then boom, just like that, there's a fully functional mood tracker app complete with the backend and the database ready to use.
So how long does all this take?
I mean, in the video, it feels like minutes. And get this, it even gets deployed automatically.
What does deployed mean? Sorry.
Basically, it means the app is live online, so you can actually access it and start using it.
Wow, so no messing around with servers or anything like that?
Nope, Replit Agent handles all of that.
I'm starting to see why you're so excited about this. It really does feel like it could change everything.
Oh, and we're just getting started. Here's another cool thing. The AI doesn't just assume it got everything perfect. It actually asks Amjad for feedback.
Seriously. Like it says, hey, what do you think?
Pretty much. It's like, hey, try out the app, tell me what you think, let me know if there are any bugs or if you want to change anything. It even runs some basic visual tests on its own just to double check that everything looks right on the screen.
So it's learning and improving based on feedback.
Exactly. And that leads to a really important point that Amjad makes. Replit Agent isn't just some code generator. It's what he calls a multi-agent system.
Okay, I'm not sure what that means.
Basically, it means there are different AI models, each one specializing in a specific task, all working together to build the app.
So it's not just one AI doing everything.
Right. It's like a team of specialized AI agents, each one with its own expertise, all collaborating. And that's how it can do so much more than just spit out code. It can actually understand what you're trying to build, make decisions about the best way to do it, even anticipate potential problems.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like a team of developers, but they're all AI.
Exactly. And a big part of how they do all of that is through this custom retrieval system that Replit built. It allows the AI to understand and edit existing code, which is crucial for, you know, working on real world projects.
Right, because most software isn't built from scratch.
Exactly. And remember how the AI was suggesting features and choosing the best tech stack? Well, that all comes from this focus on making the AI act like a human developer. It takes feedback, it adjusts its approach, it even learns from errors, just like a real person would.
So they're not just trying to create an AI that can code, they're trying to create an AI that can think like a developer.
That's exactly it. And it's working. You want to know who had an AGI moment while using Replit Agent? Andrej Karpathy,
Who's that?
only the former head of AI at Tesla. He was building a clone of Hacker News using Replit Agent, and he was blown away by how intuitive the agent was.
Really? So this is impressing even the big names in AI.
Oh, yeah. And you know what really blew him away? He was building this Hacker News clone, and the AI suggested adding emoji sliders for voting, like without him even asking.
Whoa, hold on. It suggested a feature that makes total sense for that kind of app, but he never even brought it up.
Yep. It's like the AI understood the context of what he was building and then went a step further, suggesting something that would improve the user experience.
Okay, that's pretty impressive.
It really is. And Karpathy even talked about how it felt like he was working with a partner, one who could ask questions, help him debug, and even make mistakes, just like a human developer would.
Wait, the AI makes mistakes.
Yeah, sometimes. But that's actually a good thing, because it's learning through trial and error, just like we do.
I guess it makes sense. If it never made mistakes, it would never really learn.
And that's where Amjad's vision for Replit Agent gets really exciting. He believes this is the beginning of a personal software revolution.
What do you mean by that?
He's building on the idea of the personal computing revolution of the 1980s. Remember how that gave individuals the power to create and consume information?
Yeah, of course.
Well, he sees Replit Agent as doing the same thing for software. He envisions a world where anyone, regardless of their technical skills, can build custom software to meet their specific needs.
So it's not just about using apps anymore. It's about everyone being able to create their own apps.
Exactly. And it's about unlocking creativity, bringing those "I wish there was an app for that" ideas to life. And we're already seeing this happen.
Right.
Amjad talked about a user who built a memory mapping app, with multimedia attachments and everything. Something super personal and unique that probably wouldn't exist without this technology.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What about people who are already into the whole no-code movement?
That's actually a really interesting point because no-code tools have been gaining traction, right, as a way to empower non-coders. But they often hit limitations in terms of flexibility and what you can actually build. So that's where Replit Agent comes in. It's like a coding tool for no-coders, or a no-code tool with the power of code, I guess.
So it could be a game changer for that whole movement.
Absolutely. And Amjad even thinks that learning to code is going to become even more valuable in this new world.
Really? Why?
Because he sees it as learning how to orchestrate these AI agents. It's like, you don't need to write every line of code yourself anymore, but you need to understand the logic, the structure, and how to effectively guide these AI agents to get the results you want. He had this great analogy.
Oh, yeah. What was it?
He said it's like Mickey Mouse in Fantasia, when he learns that magical ability and suddenly all the brooms are walking and talking and dancing.
I remember that scene.
Yeah, so he sees it like that. Learning to code becomes about being able to orchestrate this giant army of AI agents to build whatever you can imagine.
Wow. That is a pretty powerful image. So are we saying that AI is going to replace software developers completely?
That's a great question, and we're going to dive into that more after the break. Well, I don't think AI is going to fully replace developers anytime soon.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
But it's definitely going to change the game. And Amjad actually makes a really interesting point about this whole path to AGI thing, artificial general intelligence.
Yeah, like true AI, not just these narrow models we have now.
Right. So he's saying that simply making these AI models bigger and giving them more data, it's not enough to get to real AGI.
Makes sense. It feels like we're hitting a wall with that approach.
Exactly. He thinks we need to focus on building more efficient learning systems, AI that can adapt to new situations without having to be explicitly programmed for every single scenario.
So AI that can actually learn and reason more like humans.
That's the idea. And he's a big believer in this idea of human-machine symbiosis.
Like AI and humans working together.
Yeah, where AI becomes like an extension of our capabilities, helping us solve problems and create things we couldn't do on our own.
That's a much more optimistic view than a lot of people have about AI.
It is, and I think it's a much more realistic view, too. Okay, so we've talked about the philosophy behind Replit Agent, the potential it has to change things, even got a glimpse into the future of AI development. Now, let's get into what's next for this tool and what you can do to get involved, like right now.
You mean we can actually try it out?
Yeah, it's still in early access, but if you're feeling adventurous, you can sign up for Replit's core plan and start playing around with it.
I might just have to do that. But what's coming up next for Replit Agent? Are they going to keep developing it?
Oh, yeah, big time. Amjad talked about some of their plans, and they're basically focusing on making it even more robust and versatile.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Well, first off, reliability is a big one. They want to make sure that the agent, doesn't get stuck, that it consistently produces clean, working code.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want it to just randomly break down in the middle of building your app.
Exactly. And then another area they're working on is expanding the range of tech stacks it supports.
Because right now, it mostly defaults to Python, right?
Right. But they want to give users more flexibility to choose, different languages and tools depending on what they're building.
So you could tell it, hey, I want to build this app using React Native,
Yep.
and it would actually do it.
That's the goal. But here's where things get really interesting. They're also talking about adding more autonomy to the agents.
Autonomy. You mean like letting it do more on its own?
Exactly, especially when it comes to working on larger projects, maybe with teams of developers. Amjad mentioned this idea of being able to give the AI agent a task, and then it would just work on it in the background, almost like another member of your team.
So you could be working on one part of the code, and the AI would be working on another part all at the same time.
Yeah, and then when it's done, it would submit a pull request with its changes.
Whoa, that is next level collaboration.
It is. It's like having a team of super efficient AI developers working alongside you 24/7. And think about the implications for open source projects. Imagine an AI agent that's just constantly working to improve a code base, submitting pull requests, contributing to the community.
That would be incredible. It could really accelerate the pace of innovation.
Totally. And it's not just about autonomy. They're also thinking about new ways for us to interact with these agents. Right now, it's mostly text-based, but Amjad hinted at some really intuitive methods they're exploring.
Like what? Brain-computer interfaces.
Not quite that sci-fi yet, but he mentioned the possibility of drawing UI mock-ups. So like you could sketch out your app idea on a tablet, and then the AI would turn that into a functional prototype.
Wow, that would be game-changing, making software development as easy as doodling on a napkin.
Exactly. And for those who want more granular control, they're also planning to introduce simpler single-step agents. So if you want to be more hands-on, you could break down tasks and like direct the agents step by step.
So you'd have the flexibility to choose your level of involvement depending on what you're comfortable with.
Exactly. But here's where things get really futuristic. Remember Replit's bounty system, where users can post tasks and other users can complete them for like a reward.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Well, Amjad had this wild idea about an AI-powered bounty hunter system.
A bounty hunter, like for code.
Yeah. Basically, the AI agent would be working on a task, and if it hit a problem it couldn't solve, it would summon a human expert from the bounty pool to help out.
So it's like a hybrid development team with AI and humans working together.
Exactly. It's like the AI is leading the charge, identifying when it needs help, and bringing in the right people to solve specific problems. That's taking the concept of an augmented developer to a whole new level.
It's like the AI is the project manager, and the human developers are the specialists it calls in when needed.
That's a great way to put it. But as exciting as all this is, Amjad was very clear that we're still in the very early stages of this whole AI revolution. And with all this incredible potential, there are also some really important things to consider.
Yeah, like what about the ethical implications of all this?
Exactly. For example, as AI takes on more responsibility in the software development process, it raises questions about, like, authorship and intellectual property. If an AI is generating a significant chunk of the code, who actually owns the creation?
That's a tough one. Our legal systems weren't designed for this kind of scenario.
And what about the impact on jobs for software developers? I mean, will these tools replace human developers altogether, or will they create new opportunities?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's hard to predict how it's all going to play out.
It is, but I think Amjad's perspective's a good one to keep in mind. He believes that learning to code becomes even more valuable in this world because it allows you to, as he put it, orchestrate this giant army of agents. So it's not about being replaced, it's about adapting and evolving your skills to leverage the power of AI.
So it's like The nature of the work might change, but the need for
Yeah.
human involvement doesn't go away.
Right. It's like the shift from manual labor to operating machinery. We still need people to run those machines, to make decisions, to solve problems. And the same is going to be true for AI and software development.
So what's the takeaway here for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they consider this new world of AI-powered software development?
It's like we were saying earlier, right? This whole idea of personal software. You could build an app for anything you need. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, like what if you had an idea for an app that would just make your life easier, but you had no idea how to code?
And now you could actually create it. Like not in some far off future, but like right now. That's what Replit Agent is making possible.
Even if you don't have a specific app in mind, this whole thing, it's something everyone should be paying attention to, I think.
Totally. It's not even really about coding anymore, is it?
No, not really.
It's about being able to create, to solve problems, and to shape, the world around us, but through software.
It's powerful.
And that's what's so exciting. It's like these tools, they're becoming so accessible, so intuitive. It's not just for like the tech geniuses anymore. It's for anyone who has an idea, a need, or just wants to build something new.
It's like what we were saying before about democratizing software development.
Yeah.
I think this could unlock so much creativity, when anyone can build software. I mean, just imagine all the cool stuff people will come up with.
And that's the big takeaway here. This isn't just about some like cool new tech gadget. It's about a fundamental shift in how we think about creating software.
It is. And that shift, it empowers individuals. It fuels creativity. And it just opens up a whole world of possibilities, really.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, think about this. What would you create in this new world?
What problems would you want to solve? Or what ideas have you had? Maybe just sitting in the back of your mind, waiting for the right tool to come along.
Maybe, just maybe, Replit Agent is that tool.
It's time to start exploring, Start experimenting. Bring those ideas to life.
The future of software. It's really in your hands now.
So go out there and create something amazing.
And on that note, this has been The Deep Dive.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep creating.
We'll see you in the next one.